Hi everyone, Katie Gehring here for Avery L. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I made this oh so fluffy cotton candy card using Avery L's new cotton candy stamp set and coordinating elements dies. Here is a quick look at the stamp and die set that we'll be using today on the card. So the first step is using a MISTI stamp positioner. I am going to stamp the cotton candy image on two panels of white cardstock that I've trimmed down to A2 card size. So this is 4¼ by 5½, and I'm going to stamp that twice using the MISTI tool. Next step is I am going to use the coordinating elements dies to cut a border using glitter cardstock, and that's going to go around the fluffy cotton candy shape at the end of the card. And so I'm just taping those two together, and then I will have my glitter border die all set. I'm going to use the MISTI again to get my sentiment lined up, and I want to make sure that I'm leaving enough space so that when I add that glitter border at the end that the sentiment isn't going to be covered up in any way. So it looks like that's going to fit well. I'm going to use Avery L's New Moon die ink to stamp the sentiment onto the card. And then I'll use Distress Oxide ink and worn lipstick to stamp a couple of the smaller accents onto the front of the card. So just a couple of the asterisks and then one of the circle bubbles. And now it's time for fluff. So I pulled out this bag of polyester fiberfill, and you don't need a lot, just a small bunch of it, and I'm going to flatten it out and make sure that it's going to fit the cotton candy portion of the image. So once I know that I have about the right amount of fluff, I'm going to dye it pink by using a blending tool and daubing Distress Oxide again in the worn lipstick onto the fiberfill. And you just kind of have to apply the ink blender to the stamp pad and then transfer it to the fiberfill and really just kind of push in repeatedly until you get the desired color that you want. I sped through this part a little bit because it does take a couple of minutes for the fiberfill to turn a nice pink shade, but just keep on working the ink into the fiberfill, stretching it out a little bit, making sure that you have good saturation, and then that's what you end up with, and it looks pretty darn close to cotton candy if you ask me. Before I assemble everything, I need to do some quick Copic coloring on the cone of the cotton candy. I'm going to be using BG10 and BG11 to color in a few of the stripes. And then for the white stripes, I'm going to be using W00 as well as W0 to just add a little bit of shading and shadows to the white stripes. And even though the cotton candy portion of the image is going to be covered up with the pink fluff, I went ahead and roughly colored in the cotton candy portion of the image with an RV11 marker. No fancy shading. I'm just really looking for coverage. And the reason that I'm doing that is because the fiberfill may get stretched thin in a few places or may lift up slightly, and I don't want the white cardstock to show through when it should be the cotton candy fluffy portion of the image. So I'm going to finish coloring that up a little bit, and then we will be all set to assemble the card. Using glossy accents or another clear drying glue of your choice, just run a bead of glue around the outside portion of the cotton candy. So you want to make sure that you get all the way around the outside border of the cotton candy, and then you're going to add a few bits of adhesive to the center just for good measure. Once the glue is in place, you're going to take the cotton candy fluff piece and you're going to just kind of carefully adhere it to the image and use your fingers to kind of help the fluff follow around the border of the cotton candy stamp. And you're just kind of tucking it and fluffing it as needed. I'm pressing the fluff firmly into the glue so that I'm sure that it is adhered securely to the card, and then just kind of making sure that I don't have any spots that need to be covered with the fluff. Using a glue pen, I applied some adhesive to the glitter border die, and I'm going to adhere that to the front of the card. And then I'm going to use a dot liner adhesive on the back of the top layer, and then I will adhere the two layers together, allowing the fluffy cotton candy to peek through the die cut opening. I'm going to press the two layers of cardstock firmly together, and I'm going to coax as much of that pink fluff to poke through the die cut opening as possible. And it's really that top layer that gives the cotton candy its shape and its boundaries. It's a really fun card to make, and I think it would be a fun surprise to receive either in person or in the mail. My last step will be to adhere the completed panel to a pink note card, and this one will be all set and ready to go. For more ideas and inspiration, please visit us at averiel.com. Don't forget to click subscribe, and thanks for watching. Have a great day.